No, he's setting it up for me to defend Jay-Z.
I'm looking at the track list, right?
Okay.
After Cashmere Thoughts, I kind of don't care anymore.
The Rap Roundtable.
All right, let's get into Reasonable Doubt. A lot of people feel as though that was Jay-Z's best work.
Also 25 years.
25-year anniversary. Thank you, Sin.
Yeah.
You know what? I always tell a story about watching Flavor Video. Shout out to Bobby Simmons. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but shout out to Bobby Simmons. Seeing the Can't Knock the Hustle video for the first time after watching all these rugged ass videos, watching Daz Effects and all these other guys from that time. This nigga's in a suit. It's a whole storyline. And the rapping was just like, who is this guy? I didn't know who Jay-Z was. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I fell in love with this guy, Pause, immediately. You know what I'm saying? Can't Knock the Hustle, great song. Mm-hmm. Then I heard the album, and I felt like we always talk about like the cinematic aspect of rap. You know what I'm saying? And I really felt like whatever Jay-Z was going through at that time in his life, or the lead up to, we really got all of that Reasonable. If he never rapped again, he gave you his story.
Right.
I think
that was the plan too.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you believe it or not, I don't know.
I'll get some flack for this, fellas. Retroactively, it got 5 mics, right? I don't think it's a 5 mic album.
Reasonable Doubt?
Bugging.
What do you think? It's a 6 mic album?
Are you trying to get a rise out of people, Joe? I'm not sure I believe this.
No, he's setting it up for me to defend Jay-Z.
I'm looking at the track list, right?
Okay.
After Cashmere Thoughts, I kind of don't care anymore.
Well, Ain't No Nigga is a skip for me.
You don't care about Bring It On?
Bro,
Yo,
Bring It
that's
On.
one of my favorite
I'm about to
Primo
jump
beats.
over the table
that
actually
Primo
right now,
beat.
bro.
But this is why we have
And that
our
Fat Joe
own
sample.
opinions here. You feel what I'm saying?
Why Bring It On?
I feel like the album hit a crescendo at Can I Live. I think that is the peak of the album, Can I Live. He built us up to Can I Live.
Okay.
That's
right?
fair.
And then Friend to Foe, amazing, right? I'm looking at the list. Ain't No Nigga, in my opinion, amazing.
Beautiful.
Coming of Age,
really
amazing.
like that song.
But after Cashmere Thoughts, I really don't care, bro. That's just my opinion.
That's crazy.
I'm not
Bring It
asking
On.
everyone to agree with me.
Okay.
But when they got 4 mics back in the day, I can understand why they only gave it 4.
Well, they only gave it 4 because they never gave anyone 5 mics. They gave Nas 5 mics, and people wanted to blow a gasket.
I might catch some flack for this. Probably the only song I could say I could do without. Regrets.
Wow,
Just because,
bro.
Regrets?
That's
yeah,
crazy,
just
bro.
because the beat is so soft. It's just like it's almost like a lullaby. Like,
You know,
ugh. I mean, I know the sample that it comes from, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not crazy about it.
He don't need no Bring It On. Need that record.
Other than
I
that,
love Bring It On.
For
Regrets.
real.
Y'all are talking about some of my favorite songs on the album,
now,
bro.
here's my thing
at
about
y'all
here's my
sideways.
thing about
That's fine.
Reasonable Doubt, and probably one of the reasons why it didn't get the respect it should have gotten originally, because people lacked the foresight. Like, this was a very adult album. This was a grown man album.
Listen, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like if you listen to how rappers were rapping in 96, take yourself in a time machine, go back to that time. No one was giving you the perspective that Jay-Z. Jay-Z was literally talking on songs and the words happened to rhyme. No one was doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like the way he was delivering his message, we weren't ready for it at that time. Am I bugging with that?
He was dropping jewels, and it wasn't even like it wasn't even street jewels or street hustler jewels. It was just hustler jewels. And but what I mean by that is whatever facet of life you're in, if you're a hustler, if you're hustling in your facet of life, you can apply these jewels that I'm dropping right here. So like if you're in the business world, if you're in whatever life you're leading, right? These are jewels that you can take with you and apply, and this is how I got ahead. This is how you can get ahead. It doesn't have to be a street thing. It could be a legit thing. It could be a sidewalk nigga thing.
Showed you how to
know what I
move in a
mean?
room full of vultures.
Right, exactly.
That was in 2001 when he said
was
that.
Blueprint.
Though.
And that's and to make it so musically entertaining, and the bars and everything.
Remarkable.
Bro,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Like the way the beat comes on. It was really like I met Sean Carter, right? He broke down who he was with Can't Knock the Hustle, the very first song on the record, right? And then we go to Politics as Usual.
I love that song.
It's almost like he took us with him. We're gonna walk down the block, then we're gonna get on this jet, we're gonna go to this island, we're gonna come back to the block. Some dudes are hating on me. I gotta ask them, can I live? Because y'all really not letting me be great. I just felt like if this album dropped 99 as opposed to 96, people would have lost their minds. They weren't ready for what he was bringing in 96, I believe. And because of all the mafioso rap, that was even more, it was more louder, but it wasn't as truthful as Reasonable Doubt.
Right.
They weren't ready.
And I think that's the thing. It got conflated with the trend of the mafioso rap when it was, I mean, there was, sprinklings of that, of course, but it was so much more than that. And I feel like at the time, people were reducing it to, oh, here's just another mafioso.
Well, I'd like to push back
album.
on that if I can, because I love this album. I do think it's a 5-mic album. It's a masterpiece. But if I'm bringing up the flaws of the album, because it's not a flawless album.
Okay.
To me, Jay-Z had not yet imposed his will on the rap game. And it shows in the sales and in the fact that, I mean, he was kind of doing what everyone else was doing. And it would come later, like with the Blueprint and the Black Album, and also 444, an album you guys don't like, where he would impose his will and also like give a real accounting of where he was. Like, that's not what Reasonable Doubt is. Reasonable Doubt is a great MC shining, doing what everyone else is doing. Am I wrong?
That part, no, you're not wrong. But the issue is that whereas now, Lang, you could come out right now. Langston Leguizamo drops. He has a hit record. He's that guy. You could talk your shit. The issue was back in those days, rap had a true pecking order.
Right.
You couldn't come in and just kick the doors down and tell niggas to get the fuck out the way. You had to find a pocket, get in that pocket, and hope that you could elevate from said pocket. And I think that's what Reasonable was. Jay fought a lot to get between Jay, Dame, and Biggs. They fought hard to get to this point.
And without no machine behind
With
them.
no machine. So they just tried to get in where they could get in, get the cosigns, a massive cosign at Biggie. You know what I'm saying?
Mary J. Blige.
Get these people to stand next to them, but not offend anybody. And I think that's what he was trying to do. He'll probably never say it, but I feel like he was trying to be as unoffensive as possible.
He's a businessman.
You know what I mean? Meanwhile, he's telling the stories of him and his mans. So it's like a lot of times when rappers first get on, rappers with real stories, they're talking about their perspective and their friends' perspectives. So there's a lot of insider talk that we just can't relate to. I felt like if Jay really wanted to, if Jay would have gave you volume 1 first before Reasonable, I bet you volume 1 rings off more in 96 than he did in 97, just because that was his entry. You know what I'm saying? Make you dance a little bit more, colorful aesthetic. All right, cool. Word. I'm still talking some street shit, but I'm making you happy. And then I'm gonna take you to the block with the second album. But because he took you straight to the block, and it was things that we don't even know who you are. How you tell us inside jokes and we don't know who you are? You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Jay was so far into that realm that he couldn't rap about nothing else. But I'm talking way too much. But I love Hov.
I'd like to say one more thing if I can. Just we were talking about It Was Written, and one of the issues that I have with It Was Written is it sounds like, and I think Nas's album came out a week before It Was Written did. It sounds like Nas is trying to
Reasonable
make.
Doubt.
So It Was Written came out a week later.
A week later, yeah.
It sounds to me, and I know this isn't what happened, but it sounds to me like Nas was trying to make his version of It Was Written as I listened. I mean, his version of Reasonable Doubt as I listened to It Was Written.
I think they were all chasing Ghostface.
Well, that's a thing, right? They were all chasing something. They were all chasing a sound.
Am I bugging with that, Sin?
No, you're right on.
Nah.
Well, it might have
Ghostface in 96 with Iron Man?
Iron Man, also Ready to Die, not quite that level of mafioso type lavishness.
You were more tuned in 96 than we were.
I think Big was still the man. Everybody was just.
So you think that chasing more Big than anything else?
Yeah, but the bad boy thing. The bad boy
aesthetic was powerful back then.
But Dina, you've been real quiet about this Reasonable album.
Nah,
bro.
I've been because that's one of my favorite albums. You know what I'm saying? It's probably my favorite Hov album, with the exception of maybe the Blueprint. I do agree with somewhat what Sin said about Regrets, because I do sometimes skip that song every once in a while. I go from Bring It On to Can I Live Part 2.
See what I'm saying? The last 3 tracks in the album could go either way.
The last 2 tracks, it's probably it might just be
Can't Live
regrets,
Part 2
bro.
was
It could
an
go
add-on.
either way.
That
afterwards.
was that's a bonus
But I
track.
like that album. I mean, I like that record though.
I like that song. It's a good song.
So for me, from Bring It On to I mean, one
I
song
love Bring
was
It
off,
On.
and I usually do listen to it, but every once in a while, if I want to keep because you know it's a certain, like you said, it softens up
Yeah,
after and Bring It On. It's a hard record.
yeah. Shout out to Ski
Had a
Langston.
big hand on the side. Also, the beat to what's that song with Mecca? Feeling It.
Killing it.
That was originally
That was a
intended
dope skit,
for
too.
Camp Low. And
A lot
I
of
think
that
they
album-
recorded
well,
a record.
Ski-
A lot of
St.
albums.
Thomas, my nigga.
Right.
That was me first.
Special shout out. a
Ski
special
was
shout out
going
to
back
Nev
and
Bleak,
forth.
man.
He was. They were recording
Like
those
giving
albums at the
beats
same
to the
time.
highest bidder,
So,
yeah.
Special shout out to Nev Bleak, man, for always being there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
22 twos.
22 twos. Come on
flexing
now.
his
Too much
ability
West
to
Coast
rap.
dick licking. Come on
Listen.
now.
And I always like the fact that as much as people could say, you know what, boom, I'll take it to this point. Blueprint 1 came out, and he said, I never change, this is Jay every day. You go back to his first album, he was still talking the same shit he was talking about with Reasonable on Blueprint. He still giving you the commercial records. He wasn't popular, but ain't no nigga.
Is there a better 8 or 9 song run on an
I used to
album?
love that.
Then the first 8 or 9
That's
songs
what
on
I'm.
Reasonable
Yo,
Doubt.
you know
Maybe
what?
not.
I guess I can let y'all niggas in. When I listen to albums, I always think about that point in the album where we get to that point where it's song after song after song, and it just keeps hitting, it keeps hitting, it keeps hitting. I fell in love with Blueprint after track 6. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, wow, like it was good songs, but like when we get to Never Change, you know what I'm saying?
Song
Where's the
Cry.
Love, Song Cry, all of that.
Heart of the
like
City.
Heart of the City. It's like, all right, this is where we at now. Now I get what you're talking about, Sean. Yeah, I'm calling you Sean now because I get it now.
I know you now. Yeah.
What track 1 through track 9 on Reasonable? It's like, wow.
Sexy,
If he
bro.
would have stopped right there, it would have been unanimous, maybe GOAT talk. You know what I'm saying? As far as greatest debut album. You know what I mean?
Maybe
Right.
10, maybe Friend or Foe too. 'cause-
If you
Jesus,
if you
10.
like take the best songs on this album, it really is like Illmatic level, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I
It-
didn't
it-
want to say it because I don't want to piss off Nas fans. But Illmatic
them
was
off.
short and sweet.
Yeah.
And I felt like if he would have took the Illmatic route, Reasonable wouldn't have had to wait 5 or 6 or 7 years for people to realize after they got to know Jay to go back to the
But
first
that-
album.
that's the thing
Yeah,
with
but
Jay,
it was
right?
when
It's like
it was when it had Nas is coming, so that'll be your
Right.
That's true.
the song, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But
Yeah.
but Jay has always been primarily a capitalist, right? So when he made this album, like he was making this album with the thought of like, I want people to buy this,
Right.
As opposed to
'Cause he-
like a kid like Nas who was just kind of like, I'm
He
just
was
rapping,
independent.
You know?
He was trying to make money.
Right.
Jay feels like one of those artists that the day he made Reasonable Doubt, bro, like I feel like 20 years into the future was already planned, bro.
I wouldn't even go. I
Yeah.
see what you're
It was
saying,
already
feel
planned.
that.
but I don't
Like,
even think he had the vision that it would become this.
Nas, I feel like Nas just made music and said, I'm nice and let's see what comes of this. I feel like
Right.
Jay got in the booth and said, in 20 years, I'm
He
gonna be
was
like a
thinking 2
fucking
steps ahead.
billionaire. I'm gonna be running this. It's so calculated. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.